All right, so let's take a look at 1-7. So 1-7 just gives us some additional ways that we can output data and input data. Um, so we're going to format these strings. We're using the concatenation, commas, so we can do all different kinds of ways to do it. Um, if we're combining integers or floats or strings, I can't do that unless I cast them all to the same type of variable. So, for example, I want to output a name and an age, and let's have your sex in there. So, name, age, and maybe sex. If I'm doing that, I have two different types of variables that I can see right there. So I have name, age. Is age a decimal number? Is it a integer? So how would we figure that out, what we want to use? So we have to do a little pre-planning. And let's get rid of that and let's substitute in something else like GPA. So in this case, maybe what I decided was, so that's a string. Age, let's do that as an integer. And GPA is a float. In other words, it's got a decimal in it. And the reason we do some of these, so the smallest unit of space we need to store something is almost always an integer. And in fact, in a lot of programming languages, we have short and long integers and different types. We can differentiate between them because we do need to save that space. But now it's a little more wide open. We can store things a little bigger. But here we have three different types of values, and we can all put them in variables. But to print them or to put them together, if I try to concatenate or hook them together, I'm going to end up in a problem. Now, there are some ways to do that. So I'm going to do this really quickly. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. So we've shown you already really quickly how you can cast something. So I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to hard code some in. The program asks you to do it as inputs, but what I want to do here, so let's pick a name. Draven, what's a name? John? All right. Age equals 37, and let's do GPA, so it's equal to 3.1. So again, three different types of variables. And so if I just did a print statement and I said name plus age plus GPA, let's see what happens. So run, save it there. Go! Name error. What? All kinds of weird errors. Name John is not defined. Well, so we did something even worse here. What did I do on this line? You see it? So it's a string. Did I enclose it in quotes? So it was looking for a variable named John to assign it to that. And we didn't have one. So now we'll run it again. And it goes, oh, I can't concatenate those together because they're different types. So if I really, really, really wanted to do that, I would have to convert all of these to strings. And I can do that depending on what I want to do. Equals and GPA equals string of GPA. So now I've cast those into, in other words, I converted them into from 37 as a number to 37 as in a string. And so I could do that.
one other kind of weird thing. So John 373.1 sounds like we're quoting Bible passages here or something. Notice there's no spaces between any of those. If I concatenate, I don't have any spaces. But look at it doing it this way. So instead of using a concatenation to put them together, I replace that with a comma. And let's just see what happens. Period, comma. All right. So now I'm going to run it again. Notice how it spaces it out. When I use a comma, it adds an extra space. So sometimes that's a really nice thing. Sometimes it's a giant pain in the butt because that's not what you really wanted to do. So let me just show you a couple more on this one here. So the following code will print 3 strings on the same line using commas inside the print function. Okay. Name equals Sam. Print hello to this variable who is from the Big Apple. And it will put those all together. So when I do my print statements, I can use commas. So commas, not commas. So if I'm going to concatenate them together with just a plus symbol and they're all the same variable type, so I don't even need to convert these if I use commas. It'll convert them and just display it. So I can actually run it now, and I took out that conversion. It's gone. And it will actually display all 3 items. So commas are good. Concatenation is good. They each have their own places. So, print and concatenate integers and strings on the same line using commas inside the print function. Use the following. Number errors equals 0. Number equal 14 string literals. An integer of and combined with strings causes type errors in comma formatted print. Ugh. All right. So let's see if we can work our way through that one real quick. And I'm going to delete that. So, number 2. Use the following. Number errors equals 0. Equals 0. And number equals 14. So now we're going to take those and put those into one big print statement. So really the same things we're doing. We're just now adding some additional pieces. So an integer of, I'm going to put a comma. And remember, it's going to add a space, so we can do that. An integer of number, so 14. Put a comma because I'm done with that variable for a second. With strings causes, and then I have number errors, comma, and then the literal string type errors in comma formatted print. All right, that's a lot to unpack in one sentence. All right, I'm not even going to guess if that's right. Let's run it and see how badly I mistyped that while I was typing in the blind. Oh, apparently I can't spell integer or strings, causes 0 type errors in comma formatted print. So it's just showing you what you can do with it, and clearly I can't type very well. So 2 and 3 are very, very similar. So 3 just says, all right, now I'm going to add these strings together, combine 2 integers and 2 strings. So my integers are 4 and 2, and my strings are here. So you could certainly put those together pretty easily. Number 4, display your street atlas. Initialize 3 variables, name, street, and street number. Using commas, display a message using these 3 variables and a string. For example, Juan lives at 1122 Union Avenue. Okay. So we could do that. So I'm going to jump down to this number 4. And I want to create, so name equals then I'm going to put in my address, so street equals capital V. So we're going to put that in there. And, oh, it's going to break it into 3 variables, street and street number. Okay. So hang on. So I'm going to put that then like this. And then it's going to have number equals 7,700. All right. So we can do it that way. So what you're going to print out then is, in what we're looking for, somebody lives at, okay, so print. So we're going to put the name in there, name, comma, lives at. So then we're going to put the number. We put in the number, and then we put in the street. And then put a period in. So now, if I run that, Grandmaster Flash lives at 7700 Vine Street. Well, that's kind of cool. I didn't make it quite long and wide enough, so what's that there? So that's what we're looking at it to do those. So the last couple of these, so sentence combining a variable string and a number, blah, blah, blah. So here you have to create one. Write the code to assign the variables for a program that prints out a reservation for training class. So event, time, name, group number, and minimum early. So what you're doing then is creating these variables, and then we're going to be able to look at them and print out a code that says, oh yeah, you want to be 15 minutes early. So you're going to create something that looks like this. So I'm pretty sure you guys can all do it. I have great hope and faith in you. Make sure that it is a Python file you are uploading. When you get